Delete that photo. My ex still follows me. Delete it before he sees you. My girlfriend panicked like it was life or death over a sunset picture. I stayed quiet, started asking the one person who actually knew him weeks later. She froze when that. I am Liam, 29, and I have been living with my girlfriend Jenna, 27F, in Portland for almost a year now. We met through mutual friends, and things have been pretty good between us, or at least I thought they were until this weekend. So here is what happened. Last weekend, our friend Hunter invited us on this group trip to Hood River. Beautiful area, great weather, just what we needed to get out of the city. Jenna seemed a bit distracted the whole time, but I figured it was work stress. She is a freelance communications person, and her schedule's been crazy lately. Anyway, we are hanging out with Hunter and his friend Ava, who I would never met before. Really cool girl, photographer, super easy to talk to. Sunday evening, we are all watching the sunset, and it is just gorgeous. So I ask Ava to take a picture of the three of us. You know, the kind, golden hour light. Everyone looking actually happy for once. Came out perfect. I posted it on Instagram that night with something basic, like Hood River sunsets hit different, and didn't think anything of it. We went to bed. Everything seemed normal. Then Monday morning happens. I am making coffee, and Jenna comes running out of the bedroom with her phone, looking absolutely panicked. Like the kind of panic you see when someone's house is on fire. Liam, you need to delete that picture, right now. I am standing there confused, holding a coffee mug. Like what picture? The sunset one. My ex Kyle commented on it. Kyle. The one she dated for like 3 years before we got together. The one she told me she was completely done with and hadn't spoken to in months. I look at my phone, and sure enough, there is a comment from him. Nothing crazy or inappropriate, just nice shot with a hiking emoji. But Jenna's acting like he had posted her social security number. Babe, it is just a comment. I will delete it if it bothers you, but no. Delete the whole picture, please. Just delete it. The way she said it, man, like she was terrified. And here is the thing that has been eating at me. Why is she even seeing his comments? Last I checked, she told me she blocked him on everything after they broke up because he was too intense, and she needed space. So I deleted the picture because, honestly, it seemed easier than having a fight about it. But now I cannot stop thinking about all the little things that haven't quite added up lately. Like how she took all our couple photos off her Instagram a few months ago. When I asked, she said she was curating her aesthetic for potential clients. Fair enough, I guess. Or how she changed her relationship status to hidden instead of public. Again, she said it was for professional reasons. Didn't want potential clients getting distracted by personal stuff. Or how she has been super weird about posting anything with me in it lately. Always finds an excuse. The lighting's bad. She looks tired. We can take a better one later. And now this Kyle thing. If she didn't block him, why would she lie about it? And why is she so freaked out about a sunset photo that he might have just stumbled across randomly? I tried bringing it up with her yesterday, but she got all defensive, said I was being paranoid, and that her past with Kyle left her triggered by any contact from him. Maybe I am overthinking this. Jenna's been through some stuff, and I know her relationship with Kyle wasn't healthy. She has mentioned he was controlling and jealous, always accusing her of things. Maybe seeing his name just brought back all that trauma. But something about her reaction felt off. Not like someone who was triggered by bad memories, but like someone who got caught doing something they shouldn't be doing. Am I being paranoid here? Is this just trauma response? Or is there something else going on? Edit. Holy shit, didn't expect this many responses. Thanks everyone for the perspective. Some of you are saying, trust my gut. Others saying, give her the benefit of the doubt. Honestly, not sure what to think right now. Edit 2. A few people asked if I have tried talking to Hunter about it since he knows both of us. Might be worth a shot. He is pretty straight up about things. Update 1 figured since she just met us, she would be neutral about the whole thing. Maybe she could give me some perspective on whether Jenna seemed off that weekend. Turns out Ava had a lot more perspective than I bargained for. We met for coffee yesterday, and I started explaining the whole photo situation, how Jenna panicked about Kyle's comment, how some things haven't been adding up lately. Ava got this weird look on her face and asked, wait, Kyle, what is his last name? Kind of stocky. Always talks about being a consultant. Yeah, that is him. How would she know? Oh, Liam. I dated him. What are the odds, right? Turns out when Kyle moved to Seattle last year, which lines up with when he and Jenna supposedly broke up, he and Ava hooked up for a few months. She met him on a dating app. Things seemed fine at first. Then they went completely sideways. According to Ava, Kyle is a walking red flag factory. Jealous about everything. Her friends, her work, her phone. Would jokingly grab her phone to look through it, then get mad when she objected. Made her feel guilty for having a social life that didn't revolve around him. But here is the kicker. He has been unemployed for over a year. Got fired from 2 different companies for attitude problems, which Ava said meant he couldn't handle taking direction from anyone, especially women supervisors. The whole consultant thing is complete bullshit. He has been living with his parents and doing gig work. The weirdest part, Ava told me, was how obsessed he was with his ex Jenna. Like, couldn't stop talking about her. How she was the only one who really understood him, and how their breakup was just bad timing, not actually over. My stomach dropped. What do you mean? Not actually over? He kept saying they still talked all the time. That she was just with someone else temporarily while he got his life together. But they both knew they would end up back together eventually. I asked when this was. Ava said they stopped seeing each other in March, which would be about 4 months ago, which means Kyle was saying all this stuff about Jenna right around the time she started acting weird about our photos and social media. Liam, I am really sorry to tell you this, but based on everything Kyle told me, I don't think their relationship ever actually ended. He talked about her like someone he was still with, just complicated. We sat there for a minute while I processed this. Then Ava said something that made my blood run cold. When you introduced me to Jenna at Hood River, something clicked. Kyle had shown me pictures of his exes on his phone before, recent pictures, like, from this year. I didn't put it together until now because he always called her by some nickname, but I am pretty sure one of them was taken in your apartment. The coffee shop suddenly felt too hot, too loud. I asked what she meant. There was this photo of her in a kitchen I didn't recognize. She was making breakfast, looked really comfortable and domestic. He took it when she wasn't looking. I thought it was weird then, taking stealth photos, but he said something about wanting to remember perfect moments. That kitchen, our kitchen. Jenna makes this elaborate Sunday breakfast routine and always gets embarrassed when I try to take pictures, because she says she looks messy in the morning. But apparently Kyle's been there taking pictures she didn't know about. I thanked Ava and left, brain completely scrambled. Drove around Portland for like 2 hours trying to process everything. The timeline, the lies, the fact that Kyle has recent photos taken in my apartment. When I finally got home, Jenna was on the couch working on her laptop, looked up and smiled, like nothing was wrong, asked how coffee with Ava went. Good, I said. We talked about photography and dating in Portland. Turns out she used to see Kyle. The color drained from Jenna's face. Oh, that is weird. Coincidence. Yeah, weird. We haven't talked about it since. But she knows, I know something. She has been extra affectionate, suggesting date nights, talking about weekend plans. Classic overcorrection behavior. I don't know what to do here. Part of me wants to confront her directly, but another part wants more information first. Because if Ava's right, if Kyle has recent photos from our apartment, then this isn't just emotional cheating or unresolved feelings. This means Jenna's been bringing him to our place, our home, while I am at work. He has been friends with Jenna for years, knew her through her whole relationship with Kyle, told me some things that made everything make sense in the worst possible way. Apparently Kyle didn't just move to Seattle after their breakup. He moved because Jenna's friends staged an intervention. They were that worried about how controlling he had gotten. Hunter said Jenna was a completely different person when she was with Kyle, anxious, isolated, always checking her phone. We thought she would finally gotten free of him, Hunter told me. When she started dating you, it was like she came back to life. I had no idea he was back in Portland, but he is back. And yesterday, I found out exactly how back. I was working from home. Jenna said she was meeting a client for lunch. Around 2 p.m., I realized I had forgotten my laptop charger at the office, so I headed out to grab it. Came back, maybe an hour later, and there is this car in our visitor spot I had never seen before. Normally wouldn't think twice about it, but given everything that has been going on, I parked across the street and waited. Call it paranoia, call it intuition, whatever. 20 minutes later, Jenna comes out of our building with Kyle. Not like running into each other in the lobby, walking out together, him carrying a coffee mug I recognized from our kitchen, her touching his arm while they talked. Comfortable, familiar. Like this was routine. I sat in my car watching them say goodbye in our parking lot. And the way she hugged him, that is not how you hug someone you are triggered by. That is not how you hug an ex you have moved on from. That is how you hug someone you are still in love with. I waited until Kyle drove away, then went inside. Jenna was in the shower, humming. Actually humming. I haven't heard her do that in months. The coffee mug Kyle was carrying was in the dishwasher, still warm. When Jenna came out of the bathroom, I was sitting on the couch, just staring at nothing. Hey babe, how was your afternoon? Like nothing happened. Good. Productive. How was your client meeting? Oh, you know how it is. Lots of brainstorming. She started blow-drying her hair, still humming. I couldn't take it anymore. Jenna, we need to talk. The humming stopped. I told her I knew Kyle had been here. Told her about Ava, about the photos, about the timeline not making sense. Told her I had seen them together today and couldn't pretend anymore. She tried gaslighting first, said I was being paranoid, said I was twisting innocent situations into something suspicious, said the stress of her freelance work was making her act weird and I was reading too much into things. Then, when that didn't work, she tried the trauma angle again, said seeing Kyle brought back memories, and she was trying to process them in a healthy way by not avoiding him entirely. So you are processing trauma by bringing him into our apartment? That is when the story started falling apart. Said they needed to talk through their relationship to both move on properly. Closure conversations in our bedroom. Because yeah, I had noticed things. Sheets that smelled different. Her phone face down on the nightstand when it is usually charging upright. More gaslighting, more deflection. I just said it, Jenna. The silence lasted forever. Then, I don't know. No. Not, of course not. Not how could you think that? I don't know. Are you sleeping with him? Another pause. It is not like that. What is it like then? And here is where she said the thing that ended everything. I am not choosing him. Liam, I am not choosing you either. I just need time to figure out what I want. I just stared at her. This woman I have been living with, planning a future with, splitting bills, and talking about getting a dog with. This woman who I thought loved me. Time to figure out what you want, I repeated. Yes, while living with me. Yes, she flinched at that, but didn't deny it. You don't get to have both of us while you figure yourself out, I told her. I am not a backup plan. She started crying, saying she never meant for it to happen, that Kyle showed up, and all her old feelings came back, and she didn't know how to handle it. Said she loved me but was confused. I told her confusion was fine, but she needed to be confused somewhere else. Started packing that night. I am staying with Hunter until I figure out next steps. Changed all my passwords, because Jenna knew most of them. Called the landlord this morning about getting off the lease. She has been texting non-stop since I left. Sorry. She loves me. Kyle doesn't mean anything. She was just confused. Please come home. But here is what really gets me. In all those texts, not once has she said she will stop seeing him. The apologies are for getting caught, not for what she did. Edit. Yes, I took photos of Kyle's car and license plate before I left the parking lot. Seemed like good documentation to have. Final update. It has been almost 6 months since I moved out. And honestly, I debated whether to post this update at all. But I know some people have been following this story, and I wanted to close the loop. Word through mutual friends is that some people never change their patterns, even when they get what they thought they wanted. But honestly, that is not my problem anymore. So here is what has been happening in my world since I left. Breaking the lease cost me about $2,000, but man, It was worth every penny to just be done with that whole situation. Jenna didn't even argue about it, which honestly told me everything I needed to know about how guilty she felt. Found my own place in Southeast Portland. Nothing fancy, but it is mine. No shared spaces, no walking on eggshells, no wondering who else has keys. The peace of mind is incredible. Work's been great. Actually got promoted last month to senior developer. Partly because I have been way more focused without all the relationship drama. Turns out constant stress about your home life really affects your professional performance. Who knew? About 3 weeks after I moved out, Jenna and Kyle made their relationship Instagram official. Posted this whole thing about finding your way back to true love. And sometimes, the universe has other plans. Pretty gross. But whatever. At least they stopped pretending. They got engaged 2 months ago. The engagement party was apparently a disaster. Heard through mutual friends that Kyle got jealous when someone mentioned me, in passing just asking how I was doing, and they had a huge fight in front of everyone. Some habits never change, I guess. But here is the plot twist. Nobody saw coming. 3 weeks ago, Ava and I ran into each other at a coffee shop. Just random chance. We both happened to be in the same neighborhood for work stuff. Started talking and ended up grabbing dinner. We have been seeing each other since. It is nothing like what I had with Jenna. There is no drama, no second guessing, no feeling like I am competing for attention with some ghost from the past. Ava's direct, honest, funny as hell. What you see is what you get. She told me something interesting last week. Apparently Kyle reached out to her on social media recently, asking if they could catch up. She screenshotted it and sent it to me with the message, "Some people never learn," then blocked him immediately. Even engaged to Jenna, he is still shopping around. Ava dodged that bullet too, thank God. The really crazy part? I ran into Jenna at the grocery store last weekend. Hair wasn't done, no makeup, just looked exhausted. She tried to start a conversation, asking how I was, saying she had been thinking about me. I kept it polite but short, told her I hoped she was happy and left it at that. As I was walking to my car, she called out Liam. Wait, turned around, and she had tears in her eyes. I made a mistake, she said. I know that now. Part of me felt bad for her in that moment. But then I thought about those weeks of gaslighting, of being made to feel crazy for trusting my instincts, of being someone's backup plan. I hope you and Kyle work things out, I told her, and meant it. Not because I want them to be happy together, but because they deserve each other. Got a dog 3 months ago, rescue named Murphy, some kind of lab mix. Best decision ever. He is sitting next to me while I type this, completely content just existing. Dogs are better than people. Nancy Budsheim. She is coming over tonight, and we are going to attempt making homemade pizza, and probably fail spectacularly. Looking forward to it. I keep thinking about what would have happened if I had ignored my gut that day with the Instagram photo. If I had just accepted Jenna's explanations and tried to make it work, I would probably still be in that apartment, still wondering why I felt anxious all the time, still being gaslighted into thinking my instincts were wrong.